lawless, unforgiving Old West. One man tried to bury his past, only to discover that some nightmares never stay buried. Newly appointed Sheriff Harley Brogdon thought he'd left trouble behind, until ancient terrors from Native American legend clawed their way out of the cold earth. Bronze Star 2 is the thrilling continuation of the critically acclaimed Weird Western series by Eisner Award-winning writer Mike Barron and legendary artist Pat Broderick, co-creator of Creature Commandos. Return to Cobb's Gap, where every bullet fired is a deadly gamble, and every shadow may conceal an unimaginable horror. The legend rides again, deeper into darkness, into a series of hellish nightmares that will haunt you long after the final page. 2 chilling journeys into the heart of the Weird West await you in Bronze Star 2. Pre-order the pulse-pounding sequel now at bronzestarcomic.com.
Entertainment news today. It's such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. There's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight Edge After Dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight Edge After Dark. All those bombs and flops, but MEAD never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge After Dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the best podcast on YouTube. The first, the only, the original Midnight's Edge After Dark. It's me and Nick tonight so far. How y'all doing out there? Hope you're doing well. To the right of me or stage left, I don't even know how, fuck it.
Nick. Nickelodeon. Nick. Nickelodeon.
Yeah, how you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here, hang out with you, and happy to be hanging out with our chat. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, I guess.
Oh, that's nice. It's very nice.
I'm hanging in there. Not a ton of like direct news.
No.
We got some like related news that I think we can kind of
small snippets.
Well, we can kind of bring it all together. So we're going to do that tonight. But let's say hello to everybody out in the chat. We got ActionCom here. I see Snortapoopus. I see Marks47, Barry the Music Man. D-Bud's in the house swinging around a wrench. So is Goddess of Whim. Thank you so much. Yes, I guess we're technically starting on time. This is true. And D-Bud's also reminding everybody that the world is not enough. Oh, he means that's the movie tonight on
yes,
show.
Toxic Tuesday. Yes, we're talking 007. The world is not enough. And it's back on YouTube. So for those of you who are saying, hey, come back to YouTube, we came. And we're going to come big tonight. So now you have no excuses.
How are you going to do that?
We're still dual streaming. We have a new overlay, and it worked out brilliantly for when we did Die Another Day. We're going to execute it again. It's this new overlay that has the Orangina can on it on top of a
said
plint.
Orangina.
I did. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm excited to talk about it. I think it's a fantastic Pierce Brosnan Bond film. So I hope to see a lot of you in the chat. D-Bud, I know you're gonna come, so I don't expect anything less out of you. I hope all you other men come.
Orange China.
You know,
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's his drink. I think it's supposed to be Orangina. I think the irony is, I heard the term Orangina from an old lady, and there's something about when an old lady uses crude humor, it hits very differently. And one time, this lady looked at me. She's like, if you look at that bottle, it says Orangina. And I can and like a part of me was
horse come in.
A part of me was mortified, and then a part of me was also impressed at the same time. I was like, holy crap, the old lady with the dirty jokes. I wish I thought of that. But no, that lady did. I'll never forget.
She was probably hitting on you, Nick.
I doubt that.
Those are to show you her Orangina.
That's like saying people love when it's below 10 degrees or these are things people don't say.
And that's when the whores come in.
Speaking of old ladies with dirty mouths, yes, indeed. Yes, it is. We got Soul Nightmare in the house. It says, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to correct you if you're wrong, but I will if I have to. But Badlands making 3.5 million domestically on a non-holiday Monday is pretty good, right? Yeah, actually, that's really good. I think the word of mouth on this movie is really helping it. I think it's proof that word of mouth can help a film. Not to the extent of like Sound of Freedom, but it's kind of like that same kind of thing, I think. Even though the media really fucked this movie over in a lot of ways. I haven't seen it yet, but from what I'm hearing, it's not nearly as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Now, it doesn't mean it's perfect, but kind of reminds me of a few other films we've had in recent years where the media's tried to play up certain things, and that may actually play into today's topic, actually. But I want to say hello to a few more regulars in the house. We got Tim Hayes here. We got John the Beagle Dad. Hopefully you're doing well. We also have, let's see here, who else did I see pop in here besides Soul Nightmare, who thank you again for the super chat. Street Preacher is here. Preach. PJO 1961. That's not your normally. Like, they're doing that thing again with the YouTube's thing, Penny. Sorry about that. Doba Fett's here. And we also have Phoenix Knight. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Lombardi is here as well. And all the regulars. Deeple 101, of course. Hale Bryant Barth as well. Take care of your. Just about to end the show. Take care of yourselves. We'll see each other next time. It's been one of those days for me, guys. You have no idea. It's just been just one of those days. Yeah. Buried music. The Down syndrome predator needs all the help it can get. Yeah, maybe.
But it's still a stupid. It's such a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah, it's just a little turnabout. Yeah.
So anyhow, to kick this whole topic off tonight, I was hoping somebody else would get here. Anybody else who's going to show up would be here before we started, but that's their fault and their loss. So they're just going to have to roll with the punches when they get in here. So let's, speaking of Toy Story, did you see the new trailer for that before we get into that? Deeple 101.
I didn't even know it actually came out. I'm not joking either. I'm not saying as a sleight of hand comment or some snide remark. I had no idea it came out.
Honestly, look, I'm not looking forward to this film. I thought Toy Story 5 was an abomination and unnecessary. Toy Story 5 is just as unnecessary, I guess. I'm going to have to mute some of the audio here for the music, but Disney actually surprisingly doesn't generally go after people for copyright reasons. So we can watch. It's just a quick 30-minute teaser, or 30-second teaser.
Okay.
If I could actually talk, or 50-second, whatever here. So it comes out in June, next summer. So here we go. Here's the teaser for Toy Story 5. Now maybe if Toy Story 4 had been this premise, I might have been more receptive to it. Was what I was getting to before. We're gonna have to mute the audio here. So yeah. I don't think there's a whole lot other than music playing here until the last part, but yeah. I was standing. You were there. Yeah, just sound effects. So in summer 2026, it's coming. The age of toys is over. Question mark.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's about
them dealing
digital
with
toys.
technology.
Yeah. So like this feels almost like it's a few years too late. Doesn't it to you?
This is what should have honestly come on in 2019.
Yeah. Or more than that, even. Like as I said, 4. This could have been part 4. Should have been part 4.
This
Maybe if
should have
you're
been
gonna
4.
bother, right?
This I will admit, this seems like on the surface, this seems like a better idea than what they were going for with 4. But this is 7 years too late.
You're probably right.
This should have been. This should have been one for them. But man, I don't want to say no one cares because I think people will still see this opening weekend. I still think this will still have a pretty good opening weekend. I just don't know if I have it in me to care about this one, even though, funnily enough, I'll watch 1, 2, and 3 any day of the week. You put those 3 on, I will be all in, happy, ready to go. I think all 3 of those movies are absolutely fantastic. I saw all 3 of those movies in the theater. I'm a big fan of all 3 of them. I love.
I'll tell you what,
so
it's
much.
funny. Now that I have a girlfriend who has a young kid, Gabby's dollhouse is one of the biggest things around our house, and I'm sure you kind of understand when you have little kids how they think things just kind of take over.
Yeah.
Well, that Gabby
it's
Dollhouse
a
movie
moment.
came out here on streaming, and it's basically Toy Story 3.
Oh,
and a little bit
really?
of Toy Story 2. Yeah, I mean, really is what it is, and it's not. It works for what it is, but it's like we're at this point now. Like, I agree with you. There was no necessary reason for Toy Story 4. Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 were a perfect trilogy.
They really were.
Yeah.
The
Hey, we got
fourth
Andy
one
in the
was
chat. If
so
you can join us, hop on in,
unnecessary.
Andy. Sorry, you were saying, Nick. I didn't mean to.
The fourth one, no, you're good. The fourth one was just so unnecessary. I mean, I remember actually being initially excited at the idea of the fourth one. Oh, okay. Where could this go? Because I feel like they left it off at a great high note. Then I saw the fourth movie and I was just like underwhelmed, very underwhelmed. I didn't think it was like a horrible movie, but I wasn't wild about it either. I just didn't really think it was any good. It wasn't even to me like polarizingly bad. Now there were some things in it I was not fond of, sure, but there's things I was. But overall, it was just it was not great at all. I'd say it's probably like a 6 out of 10 at best. It was just kind of there. 4. It was just kind of eh.
Yeah. Yes, Andy, we still get excited about toys.
Boys are always going to be excited about their toys.
Yeah, and I hated how they changed.
Oh, that was stupid. Oh God, that was so cringy.
The whole premise was just bad. So yeah, we'll see how bad this is. I'm sure I'll have to go see it. Since we have a youngin' in the house now. But so moving on from there, though, the main topic of the day, since we bought ourselves a little more time for anybody else who wanted to join us, but they haven't yet. Why Zendaya allegedly doesn't want to be anywhere near Euphoria co-star Sydney Sweeney. Have you heard about this?
I did hear about this. So, no, obviously, from what I've looked into this, it doesn't seem confirmed. It's still basically a strictly rumor territory. But let's just assume that this is true. I mean, would it not surprise me? No. Would I like for it to be not true? Yeah, absolutely. I hope that's not true, because if this is true, it just basically verifies that, yeah, these people live in a bubble and they are trying to do whatever it takes to make sure that they stay in that bubble. They only want to hear, associate, talk to people who agree with them, because they think the default position in their world is, everyone thinks the same way as they do. So yeah, I know. I mean, I know what that's like. I mean, to a lesser extent, to be a bit of a lone wolf where I work at. And when I mention let's just say how I feel about something very loosely, I always get the most shocked looks at my workplace. Like, how do you think differently than all of us? You should see the expressions, Tom. It's insane. And so I guess in this regard, I'd be in Sydney's position, surrounded by a bunch of fucking crazy people on this Euphoria show.
Speaking of crazy people,
Andy,
he's the Toy Man. I didn't have anything better than that, Andy. I'm sorry.
Sydney Sweeney, beautiful. How dare you?
Yes.
That's a terrible thing to say, isn't it?
So this whole thing is really kind of strange. I mean, I find it kind of hilarious. Do I believe it's true? Yes. I believe it's absolutely 100% true. Why? Because Hollywood bitches are some of the most cattiest bitches in the world. Right? Like the competition, the backbiting, the blood drawn between people in Hollywood, this I can totally buy. And with the campaign out there right now against Sydney Sweeney is insane. And you can kind of put that up against what's not happening to Jennifer Lawrence, right? Jennifer Lawrence was allowed to go out there and basically say the same fucking thing, and nobody's canceling her right now. Not only that, nobody's pointing out that her movie flopped hard. And this is the first movie she's been in like 2 years. Now, you guys remember when J-Law was one of the highest paid actresses in the world? Yeah. Now you got Zendaya. Yeah, I know.
I don't know, 5 years ago?
Something like that. In girl years, that's a long time.
Well, can we be
Especially
honest
in
about
actress
this?
years.
There's no one that treats women worse than other women. You know, like a guy will be standing there, and except for Nick, because he's a really stand-up guy, but guy's standing there and a beautiful girl walks by, and guy's eyes follow her a little bit, and girl says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you checked her out." Checked who out? That girl with the fake Gucci bag, and they run through this checklist with the fake boobs, all this stuff, the outfit, the red shirt that didn't match with all that stuff, and they trash each other like that. And a guy's like, I don't know, I just saw a girl walk by, I didn't notice any of that stuff. But they're so judgmental with each other, and this is why, like, women, like, they dress to impress other women. Like, guys are easy. Guys, like, don't pay attention to half that crap. So they go out there and, like, it's a competition. They hate each other's guts. And they really hate success and happiness, I think. It's this thing where you see somebody else being successful, and, like, I don't know what bothers them more. It's like, because if you're looking at another girl, you're not looking at that girl you're talking about. Like, I'm sure Zendaya does not like not being the hot girl, the popular girl that everybody's into, because that was the brand, that was what she was supposed to get.
Yeah, and I mean, on this part here, like, we know with the political side of things, that's really heating up. Like, this is getting to a point, and that's kind of the point of my headline is DEI about to die. I think we know the answer. I mean, you got people infighting. You've even got people like Jennifer Lawrence who were, 5 years ago would have been out there going, fuck Trump. You know what I mean? Like, they're even turning around and saying, look, there's a time and place for politics, right? And that was basically what Sydney said in her interview, that she's being crucified for right now, right? Now, again, like I said, if somebody on the right side of the aisle says it, they're fine with it. If somebody on the wrong side of the aisle says it, then you're supposed to. And this is what it's all about. She did not condemn Trump. Let's be real.
Yeah,
I mean, we covered this on the morning
show. They
wanted
confirmation of how they all felt. That's all they wanted, was more affirmation that you're on our side. You, since you're young, you're going to lead the way going forward of continuing the message that we want you to have.
Exactly. So this actually goes into another piece, because there's a whole lot of of this political talk going on right now, and somebody who came out and talked about it was Billy Bob Thornton. I don't know if you guys saw this Joe Rogan.
I did see that with Billy Bob Thornton. I did.
I heard of it. I didn't see it.
Okay, so here's kind of one of the better bits, or this is kind of where he gets into politics and all the awards and stuff like that. I'm going to play this clip.
I don't do it anymore, and I just don't even. I don't care about awards anymore.
Good for you.
I got plenty of them, and because I kind of got in under the wire when awards were kind of real still, you know. And,
Right.
and I've won a couple recently, but these days I just look at it as like, oh, okay, we're going to go over here and, you know, have some, you know, dry chicken breast and green beans and, you know, listen to...
Catering's always so whack.
And we'll listen to people get up there and pontificate about how awesome they are. And, you know, but see, those are the ones that get me. It's like, how about if you're going to get one of these things and you truly are honored by it, well, you honor the people who gave it to you.
Yeah.
Here's where we get going here with this. And I never, just when I thought I couldn't love Billy Bob any more than I do.
Good old bad Santa.
Just
Give the truth.
And don't go up there and talk about saving, you know, the Badgers in Wisconsin or something. You know what I'm saying?
The Badgers in Wisconsin.
You know, there's a time and place for that, I believe. And, you know, you should just stick to what it is. And people would argue and say, well, no, because I have a voice and because everybody knows me, this is a great platform for me to put this out there. Well, how about this? If you have $1 billion and you want to save the Badgers, fucking save them. I mean,
yeah, I love this. I love Billy Bob.
Plenty of money to save the Badgers. Trust me, that's barely going to cut into your budget.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If that's really your cause,
Right.
talking about it is just going to annoy people. And
yeah.
everybody knows what you're really doing. You're just saying how awesome you are because you care about things.
That's exactly right.
You're saying how special you are because you're really concerned about people in Sudan or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And it's like a flag that you carry with you to let everybody know that you're an amazing person.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, just do it.
Yeah, I've always felt like, I mean, it's easy to say someone who's never won an award, but I always felt like awards for art are stupid.
Stupid.
Because I don't.
The concept is stupid.
If people enjoy it, that's the reward. That's the award. You got it. You won. People
so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go any further than that, but yeah, I want to hear your reactions. Yeah.
This all the way to 11. This kind of comes back to like why I was never moved like by like the award shows. It's like I always thought it just seemed like it was favorite based. Obviously, it became a lot more politically driven in the last 10 years or so. But to me, it's just like I enjoyed this. Why do I need affirmation of some person who, someone else who I have no connection to enjoying it? I connected with the star in this movie. That was more than enough for me. Like I was always being swayed by my own opinions on how I enjoy something. There are times where I agreed with critics on things. There are times where I absolutely despise what critics say on things. And, you know, it's just the nature of the beast. It's okay. But at least I know when I come to conclusions on how I feel about things, whether that's Superman 2025 or F1 or Weapons or Predator Badlands, I can at least say with each and every one of these movies, all of them, you know, from now till forever, I've come to my own conclusion on them, not because someone else has a conclusion. And I don't need confirmation to make my opinion feel valid. I don't look for validation from ours. It's nice. It's a conversation starter. Sure, of course. It's a great icebreaker, but I don't need it to make my stance feel reinforced.
Yeah, that's the strangest thing I've noticed since I've gotten into the YouTube sphere. I mean, yes, nerds have always been debatable and they've gotten into, you know, debates and arguments about movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's done more out of fun because we're just passionate. But we've never needed someone to decide, hey, you feel this way. Look, please, no.
Have I seen some people get into a fist fight over Star Trek? Yes, but
oh, that's kind of funny, actually.
But we're having people that are like doing death threats and like, you know, turning away family members and other things like that because of politics. It's just getting ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I hope that we're finally hitting a point now where this is done. Like, I strongly feel like we're in the midst of the final and stuff like that Zendaya is doing is exactly that. I mean, really, at this point, I mean, we're playing the fucking high school bullshit game. And as somebody who's been canceled, I don't know how many times now, and low-key canceled, I don't know how many times now in this community, it's like, fuck that. They're all the same. It doesn't matter if it's left or right. They all pretend to be virtuous on both sides. Okay? So in this case, it's like, shut the fuck up, do your job. I mean, I hate the whole, like, just shut the fuck up and dribble. But in this case, it's shut the fuck up and act. Just like a music, it's like, shut the fuck up and sing.
Well,
If I wanted to know your political points, then write a book and I'll read it.
Yeah, the point does come across, whether it's show up and ask, show up and dribble. We don't go to you for those things. Yeah, if you know someone on a personal level, yeah, have that conversation. But we don't go to you for those things. We go there for a specific thing. When I go to my dentist, I go to my dentist to have my teeth being worked on. My relationship with the dentist is strictly based on what my dental needs are, not anything else. Nothing else. That's it. Nothing else. I don't want to hear about politics. Even if you agree with that, it's just I'm trying to get in here so I can do the thing, get on with my life. Because I'm not a fan of appointments. I have nothing against dentists. You do your job. You have your place in the world. But just please, let's do your appointment so I can get on out of here. I'll respect you. You respect me. Great. Awesome. But I got to move.
Yeah.
I want to be a dentist.
A dentist? A dentist? We all know what he really means by dentist.
Oral fixation.
Yeah. I want to be a dentist.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
You quit sucking cock. You're an elf, not a...
Dude, that's
fill in the blank here. Son, be a dentist. You'll be a success. It's funny because I just quoted Rudolph. Rudolph is infinitely quotable all the time. I'm always saying Bumbles bounce whenever anything is about bouncing. Bumbles bounce. No, I know it's pretty obvious though, Dr. Coffin-Nails. It's about like Shark's Tale. It's like, how on the nose can you fucking be on the dolphin nose in that case? Of what this is really about. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I didn't mind back in the day when it was kind of just under the surface. You didn't have to make it be about that, but we all know Hermie is gay. Okay, that's what it really is. He's the only gay elf. Nobody else is gay but him.
He's awfully lonely then.
But there's just nothing but a bunch of guys up there. I think. Is there any female elves? I can't remember.
I think there's a few.
Maybe there is a few. I can't remember now.
I think it's mostly boys.
So it's like China.
Yeah.
China.
Well, it's a sweatshop ran by a fat guy where little people work. I mean, maybe elves is just a metaphor for China always. Or this big fat man who's just whipping children to make doodads that they sell on Christmas. Yeah. Get to work. Santa Claus needs to deliver. Sorry.
You get those Marvel Legends out there so you can get the Ollie.
Lord. Oh man. So yeah, I'm glad to hear this come out of Billy Bob's mouth. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I mean, he's somebody who has one of the hottest shows on TV right now.
Yep.
He's an actor who's always had zero fucks to give, and that's what I've loved about him. He just does what he wants to do. Like, he is a consistent actor. He's been around forever. He reinvented himself from this character actor into this technically leading man. An unconventional leading man at that, but he is a leading man. And Landman is proof of that right now, that he's able to have one of the top shows on the planet right now, as far as I know.
Doesn't season 2 start this Sunday?
It does, actually. And I think that's kind of the whole point of this interview is he's out promoting it. Yeah.
Imagine that, a guy who's the leading man in a show, he's out there to actually promote the show. Wow.
Yeah, but look at the show. Look,
it's a great show.
Yeah, I like the show. I like the show.
Nothing says masculinity like Taylor Sheridan has made it. It's like it's not where the faint of heart are going to go to, because you're going to get and I like it because he's fair. He's not clubbing you over the head with like conservative ideals and things like that. It's like in Landman. Like, this is just the reality of it. You need gas. You need gas. You're not ready to change it from anything else. Like, just deal with it. The cattle industry in Yellowstone, it's like people want beef. They want their hamburgers. Like, and people's jobs and lives depend on it. You might think it's terrible that you kill a cow, but That's the fact of the matter. It's just like, that's just the reality of it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think that comes down to like a basic fundamental thing with, there's a lot of people these days that are just in denial of reality. They don't want to deny like that there's certain biological facts. They don't want to learn, realize that like there's a cost to living. There's like, somebody's got to be paid for all these things. Your doctor has to be paid. Your nurses have to be paid. The equipment needs to be paid. You can't just provide it for free. It just doesn't
Someone
miraculously
mentally
come out of
pays the bill.
Yeah, it doesn't
Well,
come out of back.
that's kind of the thing that progressives have historically, and me even being one at one time, we're guilty of, right? It's like we want to make change, but we never think about at the expense of what.
Yeah, at what cost?
At what cost, right? Like, I mean, that's the problem. Most people don't stop to think about, okay, yes, we need to do something about this, but there's a reason why things have been. Now, I'm not saying change isn't necessary, right? I'm not saying that at all. But sometimes you got to face the reality and face the facts. I mean, look at the government shutdown we were dealing with here for the longest time. Like, I mean, people just don't get it.
No.
Sometimes.
No.
Well, look at it this way. You're going to have Elon coming along with his robots very soon, going there and doing coal mines. And all these things that people are like, oh, you can't have these people do these terrible jobs and things like that. Now they're, oh, you took their job away with the robot.
Yep. Now they're going to have actual robots taking the job, which could have gone to a human.
Well, AI is going to be the next thing. What's funny is Hollywood and certain other industries are the ones that are freaking out about AI are going to be the ones that are going to be the most fine when it's all said and done. Andre made this point the other day, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. The industries and places that are going to be hurt the most, the people that are going to be hurt the most are the working class, the working force. Because a lot of these jobs are going to be replaced by AI. And then what are we going to do? A lot of people want to, automation. That right now they're just outsourcing shit. Well, then it's going to get to a point where they don't have to outsource anything. They can just buy an AI program that'll do almost anything they need it to do. Mm-hmm. Right? And at this point, you're almost replacing the human. The only thing we need humans for at this point is basically distribution. And even that is getting slim to none because, like you just said, it won't be long. We already have the cars that drive themselves. I was in one of those Tesla trucks that drives itself. At first, I was freaking out, but after a bit, I'm just like, shit, this thing drives better than a person.
Yeah. And well, look at it this way. Like back in 91 or 1990 or so, my father went in for surgery on his colon to get a tumor removed, and they left a sponge in there. A robot won't make that mistake. Everything's going to be counted and double counted. My brother Ed, back 10 years ago when he was getting his cancer surgery, a robot did the surgery and reconstructed half of his throat from a skin graft in his arm, a tissue graft from his arm. It's already happening, and these things are like, and they don't make mistakes. I mean, I remember back when I was working as a manager in a supermarket, and we had cashiers in there. This is back in the early 90s, and we had cashiers making $14 an hour to scan groceries. And the things you do for free now yourself, it's not worth $14 an hour or whatever the equivalent would be now. Like for someone to just, back in the old days, cashiers had to memorize every code. They had to be able to bag. They had to do all this stuff. They had to know everything, know prices and all that. Now it's so simplified that, well, you can see it. Your average moron that goes shopping in the middle of the night, half shot in the ass at Walmart looking for munchies, can manage to scan his own groceries. And
exactly. And not only that, look at fast food is another thing. You're 100% right, Andy. Now we've got fast food restaurants that are almost completely automated.
Yeah, but your order comes out right. That's the thing.
But John, I agree with you here. Humans still want to talk to humans, and AI. Same thing with everything else that we're talking about. And that's the only thing I think it's going to keep it off, stave AI off for just a little bit longer. But we're getting to that point because Andy's 100% right. We're one or two steps away from Walmart's being completely automated and ran by AI. We're one or two steps away from almost all fast food restaurants and restaurants being completely run by AI and robots. This is going to come fast and it's going to come furious, and we're not going to know how to react to it because we're sitting here laughing at Hollywood, who's panicking about this without even paying attention to the monster that's in our own backyard. And this is why I said it's ironic that the man who warned us the most about AI, James Cameron, has been embracing it. It's like that should tell you something right now. Something's on the horizon, and We need to be worried about it. And honestly, it's, yes, anything that's in like customer service. If you answer phones, your job is in jeopardy. If you do any dictation, your job is in jeopardy. As said before, if you have any part of your job that's repetitive, your job is probably in jeopardy. If it can easily be replaced by a machine or an AI, which that's the thing now, the beauty of AI, guess what? AI doesn't get sick. AI doesn't get emotional. AI could put up with your shit all day long, right?
You know
like,
what it summed up in, Tom, is look at what just happened to Teen Vogue. With saw that video clip with them going and protesting and berating this guy who's basically their boss and head of HR. And what does he say to them? Like, oh yeah, here, and then boom, you're all fired. You know what? A robot doesn't give you that shit. A robot doesn't get their feelings hurt. A robot doesn't care if you walk by and smack it on the ass. It's like, and guess what? The other robots aren't walking by and smacking something on the ass. So you have to worry about it.
But
you're not going to have that problem. You're not going to have HR problems. You're not going to have health insurance problems. And like, so tell me the downside of why, just from outside of a humanitarian standpoint about people losing their jobs, but we've created this problem.
Yeah, we obsessed on convenience so much. We didn't learn how to balance it out. We didn't learn to understand. We didn't learn to apply it moderately. We got obsessive on it. We became 100% dependent on it. And then when the next thing comes out that gives us even more convenience, we don't take a step back, look, understand, once again, apply moderation. Nope, we just go straight to the rely on button. And now is where we're at. We every step we rely on convenience makes us that much more inherently lazier.
Yeah.
One step closer to Wally World.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a big problem because you're going to have robots going up and down the stairs, folding your laundry, doing all that stuff, and then the next thing you know, you're going to like your robot's going to be your butler. You know, just call them Alfred and have him like fetch your stuff for you, and you'll never ever move, and it'll just keep bringing you like more and more crappy food that Bill Gates wants you to eat.
Yep, most of us will have jobs that can be automated online that we can do the few things that they actually need a human to still, make a decision. But I agree with you, Andy. But I also see where John in the chat is coming from too. And like I said, I think that's the one area where it'll keep staving things off a little bit is that humans will insist on being, especially in like the medical and certain other areas, that it still be human, regardless. If, like you just said, Andy, that replacing all these people with machines and AI would make them 80 to 100% more effective, right? Like, you'd never have half the problems or most of the problems you'd have with humans. People still have that thing about it. And I don't disagree with it. It's a stigma. It's a thing. I think there's a reason for it, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't have this thing built into us that makes us kind of racist and bigoted and, xenophobic against other things, other ways, and in a way, AI is kind of alien to us, right? It's for lack of a better term.
Well, right? For our generations.
Yeah.
For my kids, they're like, they're so used to these things. That's where I get where John's coming from, but it's these kids today are so used to living online. My son, last year, he decided to go rent a car because his truck wouldn't have made the trip. Drive down to Virginia to visit his friends that he had never met in person. And a lot of these relationships that people have, I mean, shit, look at it, the way it is now. Like, Nick and I have met in person. It's like, but it's, you get together, but you make these relationships online. And it's like, and life has completely changed. And I'm thinking that like before long, I'm just going to say this because I think I've kept my mouth shut about spooky things that have come true. Before long, you're going to have a service that comes out there and is going to deal with grief. You're going to have somebody who passes away, just like Suzanne Summers' husband has his weird AI, Suzanne Summers. It's going to be for like, hey, you know what? I can make a phone call and talk to my son who passed away and just have a little conversation.
Yeah.
But you know what? You will buy into the fantasy. It's no different than the loser sitting there at the strip club, sitting there like believing the chick is really into him just because you're throwing dollar bills at her. You will buy into the fantasy.
Better yet, Andy, a better example to your point is like when people buy into the whole seance thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like when people buy into these, like fortune tellers who they think can speak to the dead. You're right. I agree with you 100%. I think it's going to hit that kind of a weird point.
Yeah.
And what's scary about that is I think it's even going to set people up for that, is where it'll just continue to take all your social media stuff and you'll sign off this waiver and it'll just conglomerate that into your own little AI. So like when your family members and stuff like that want to call you up, like you just said, it'll generate a real-time AI for them of whatever version of you they want. And it's scary, but I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. So, but I mean, we didn't mean to go too far from the mothership here, but I think it's all kind of related in the sense that Hollywood needs a change. One thing I know that is for sure is that Midnight's Edge After Dark is the greatest podcast on YouTube.
Jonathan, you've just come out of the face painting booth as an adorable zombie. How do you feel?
I like Midnight's Edge.
All right.
Yes. We have a new turtle kid. But he
I
likes
agree with
Midnight's
him.
Edge. Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. I released the McCracken. I appreciate that. Somebody still needs to help me with my Nick theme. I might have to do it myself. I wanted to say Nick Weiser instead of Nickelodeon.
Nick Weiser.
Hey, we got CC joining us at the last part here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I thought we were starting an hour later, so I checked, and you guys are already
I don't think we've officially
haven't
what day we're
officially
going to start
decided that yet. Yeah,
I'm down for that still. By
I
the
think
way.
that's going to happen. But since you brought it up, yeah, folks, we're toying with the idea of starting at 7 Central going forward, if on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let me know what you guys think in the chat and in the comments about that. Who you got there, Andy?
This guy, he likes sheep. He's got the
Oh, I know who that is.
Scottish accents.
Oh, it's that 70s rock fan.
He's the guy who shows up periodically.
He's almost.
Is that
finished.
Michael Myers' house behind you, or whose house is that?
I just made a generic haunted house.
Oh, it kind of looks a lot like Michael's house from the Halloween movies.
But I've got our superhero team.
Oh, yes.
Here. I've got Frank or Steve with his.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Gary Ambrosia's Overkill.
Is the Punisher? Or...
Well, he's Overkill because that's what Gary does. He goes Overkill.
That's true. That's true. I love Gary, though.
Anything that you have, like, oh, I can't just have that. I need the entire shark of Bruce. So he's got his very large cod piece, which he insisted on. His Desert Eagle. An M1
upon itself, actually.
Yeah, and he's got his little pirate logo with the eye because with the Goonies reference. So.
Oh, it took me a second. I thought that was yeah, it is. Duh. It took me a second. It was the Punisher. I thought, oh, duh, no, it's the Goonies. Yeah. Jeez, I'm an idiot tonight. Oh, who else we got here?
My Major Mayhem. This
well,
is
that's
Gary's
you.
idea. Yeah, he said, well, you got to be something like Captain America. I'm like, well,
there
Mayhem, not for Major Mayhem.
Major Mayhem.
I can't wait for the stop motion movie now.
I'm making a comic book.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
How many bad guys does Bat Tom punch?
Well, I was thinking about this. Well, like who was going to make the Joker for your Bat Tom? Like, who could we do? I was thinking of Nick because he, but he's like, he's not quite insane enough to be, the Joker. But then again, and then I was going to have like, somebody evil like to
Grace
play
Randolph
off of, but well, somebody we knew. But like, then I saw that there was bad news surrender that person. So I was like, all right, I can't do that. I'd be attacked for being tasteless. But that's never stopped me before. But we'll see.
So you haven't decided yet?
I'll come up with something. I'm sure. It's like
Grace Randolph works.
Yeah.
She's crazy enough.
The big hair.
Yeah,
that'll be the thing. She's trying to destroy the ozone layer again.
she just has a fucking aerosol can in each hand. Yeah. All right, let's see what the chat's talking about here. We got Connor Dorian Charlie Manx. I always mess that up. Sorry about that, Connor. It says with $5, Alien Earth has been renewed for a second season by FX. I saw that. Well, good for Noah Wiley. Wish the Alien folks could get their shit together like the Predator folks seem to be, but yeah. That's just my opinion, though. The Iranian Putin sends in 5 and says, competitiveness among women each other has no equal in entire animal kingdom. This is true. Long time
Yet
no
the
see, by the
irony
way.
is yet the irony is they demand equality.
Yeah. Well, Soul Nightmare says David Cornsweat has done a good job staying out of politics. This is true. Sadly, people have tried to drag him in. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. Even falsely adding him to the Israel boycott.
Isn't he Jewish though?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's actually Jewish. That's kind of like
Not 100% on that though.
Yeah.
So yeah, CC, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Back from vacation, I guess you'd call it. Back in
You're
Vancouver.
back in the Canadians.
Back with my streaming setup. Back on the show. Yeah.
Oi.
A little tired, resting. You know,
you.
catching up on sleep, adjusting.
You drove the whole way, right?
Not this time. No.
Oh, this time you flew? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Cool. How long
It'd
did that take?
It'd be a 50-hour drive. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, I suppose.
I'll take the flight so long as the flights are not canceled.
Right. How long of a flight is it?
5 hours each way.
That's not so bad. Well, there you go. Well, glad you're back. And we got ActionCom here who says Ebert called Olivier's Oscar speech the most profound he'd heard, then dismissed it as good, sounding BS. More BS, please. You have it out for Ebert lately, I see. Lightning Sketch Production says, now I'm lapsing into nostalgia depression because I miss how pop culture was before this mess. Screw DEI, screw AI, and screw corporate greed. Well, the beauty of it is Hollywood has done this before. And it'll reemerge like a phoenix in some way, shape, or form. What, we don't know yet. But a couple times Hollywood has found itself on the brink of extinction, but it's found a way to survive.
I think that's also part of the problem. They always have an out. They need to learn what it's like to actually bleed a little bit for once.
Well, it's kind of what gets them where they are, right? Because like initially, they were resistant to changing from sound, to sound, and then you had to the color, and then television came into the game, and that nearly killed it, and then the moguls were dying out, and then studios started looking bad again, and then taking a chance on movies that people hadn't seen yet, right? Because like that was the thing, is like Hollywood had gotten stagnant in the 60s going into the 70s, and if it wasn't for movies like The Godfather and The Exorcist and stuff like that, things probably wouldn't have changed. So they have to find a way to change. And then throughout the 80s and 90s, they had great success, but a lot of that was because you had this big boom in the 80s, especially backed by VHS and cable. And then the 90s, you had this huge indie boom, right? With, all the guys that came up, like Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez and all those guys, Guillermo del Toro and all that kind of stuff. So like that kind of a thing, we haven't had an era like that since. There was kind of a small one, but it wasn't very good. And what's strange is you would think there'd be even more indie voices now with the way the world works, but Hollywood has managed to find a way to close themselves off even more from the outside world. And in doing that, they may have encased themselves in their own tomb, right? Like, so like, this is one time where if they don't start to change, Nick, if they don't start to learn from their mistakes, then nothing is going to change. And on the surface, it doesn't seem like they've learned, but I think the proof is there when you look at things like Predator's Badlands and some of the other movies that have come out in this last year, for better or worse, right? Like, I mean, the thing we can debate about a lot of these movies that have come out in the last year, it's not so much that they're woke or not woke. It's just whether or not they're good or not, right? Like, we're kind of getting back to the normal kind of film.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, we're definitely a lot closer to that than we are far, which is nice.
With
It's
Disney
about
being
time.
the exception, but yeah.
Oh God, yeah. That's definitely sure, and that's something that has our friend Gary Neurock always says that even when a lot of studios fold and bow out, Disney will be the last to bow out, and right now they're nearing that position where that's reality, where they're gonna be the last to bow out because they ain't going down on a fight because they're the ones who went all in the hardest on this, and it also is a company that in their eyes is the most ideal to do it for. Because it's one of those, if you can get Disney, then you can get anyone.
Well, and consolidation is going to be the thing to hurt them the most. It's not going to be the woke. It's not going to be any of this other crap. It's going to be this consolidation.
Yeah.
I think. Because it killed the music industry. And I know CC can say a thing or two about that probably, but I mean, we've talked about it nausea at this point, but I mean, that was kind of the canary in the coal mine for the movie industry with how they handled, you know, not streaming, quote unquote, but first of all, digital downloading and then going into streaming, and how it killed radio and the collective pop nature of pop music in general. I think.
I mean, I'm of two minds about that. If you look back at the top hits, the top pop hits, like back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and or any year, it's a lot of crap you've never heard of, you've completely forgotten about. And I think that part's the same today. Like most shit pop at the top of the charts is stuff that nobody's going to remember.
That's a fair
in a few
point.
years. But there are things that have killed the music industry, right? I mean,
I think the difference now is that, I mean, mainly is like, at least then it was still original material. Now a lot of it's recycled stuff. But anyway, to finish your point, go ahead.
Well, no, I was saying that's what I see it both ways. Like on the one hand, there was completely forgettable stuff then too, but on the other hand, there's definitely a lot more recycled slop today, right? You look at the Telecommunications Act, the fact that you don't really have independent radio stations anymore is one thing. So everything is controlled by a couple of companies who decide how to mix and master every single track by every single band. The other thing is there's so much more of an indie scene today than there used to be.
Oh,
right? In terms
yeah,
of,
the internet.
Yeah, in terms of that. So the actual it's much harder to get one big stadium band than it used to be, in terms of the fact that everybody's got those small bands in their city, every little, club band that they have on their playlist that, has a few thousand followers. And that's a great thing, but it also means that band is not like a cultural phenomenon like it used to be too, right?
Well, that's the thing. You had fewer outlets who controlled the way you had access to putting stuff out, and because fewer outlets ran those entities to put that stuff out, well, the one advantage that they did have was having that wide reach, and because a lot of these things don't have that wide reach, that's a big part of it. So a lot of these things, you won't have as many super mega monstrous big bands or movies or shows or as there used to be. There'll be the occasional monster success, but I think there'll be fewer. But the ones that will become that will definitely the creatives will definitely benefit a lot more from it, rather than in yesteryear when the artists who were involved benefited usually the least from these decisions, and everyone else lived off of the fruits of their labor. So I think that kind of works out in a way. And for me,
Right.
I've already been kind of ingrained into this habit, especially with music. I've always been into the idea of seeking out what I like. And it's like I'm already 20 plus years ahead of the curve. And I think it's just now everyone is learning. They got to start learning to do that as well. But except with TV, video games, movies, shows, whatever you name your hobby, whatever that is, or if it's all above, that's good. It should get people to learn to do that rather than just accept what is put in front of them. Yeah, there's something nice to that, of course, but there's definitely something far more rewarding when you go out there and seek it out on your own. And if you fall in love with it, it definitely makes it a much more personal connection when you fall in love with it from something that you went out of your own way on your own time to find.
And I agree with that, because I'm somebody who's like that, right? Like, I mean, I people recommend me stuff, and sometimes I'll check it out or whatever. But a lot of times, I prefer to kind of come to it on my own terms and time. But the other side of this is that, regardless of how monopolized, I guess, the music industry seemed at that time back when we were younger, I would say it was a lot more broad. Because you had a lot more different stations, right? You had tons and tons of stations. You had free access. That's the other thing. Free access has been taken away from us when it comes to TV and radio, which I completely disagree with. And I think that's one of the main reasons we don't have a collective nature to this, is that they've gotten to this point where they've been able to monetize it in some way, shape, or form beyond advertising, which to me kept them more honest in a lot of ways. And you had to put stuff out there that people actually wanted to see. Right, because a lot of shows weren't given a shit tons of chances if they didn't hit their stride. I mean, a lot of the competition that was there is gone. And I think that a lot of this could have been seen through if you just paid attention to what happened in the music industry, because once they started conglomerating everything and basically ignoring the networks, radio stations, and moving away from that and getting more personalized into the streaming, they traded dollars for cents. And now the artists themselves don't really know how to make money outside of touring unless you get like a viral hit online or something like that. Because what's a hit anymore, right? Like I can mention songs, like even if you're not a fan of that genre back when we were younger, you still know the song, right? Like that's the big difference. Now I could name you 4 or 5 songs of newer songs and you probably wouldn't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. And there's something interesting there because you can look up some name and I'm just throwing numbers out there. This isn't factual, but there could be some popular singer. Let's just say singer. They have 10 million subscribers, yet you've never even heard of them. Back then, that would be the equivalent of selling, let's just say, 10 million albums. Even if you didn't like it or listen to it, you at least heard of it. Nowadays, because things are so much more broken up, nowadays there's something out there and it has that many fans and you've never even heard of it. It's really interesting how that happens.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to kind of look at a lot of perspective on these things, and I agree with CC. Like you'll always be able to find good stuff, and there is good artists out there, and the music scape has changed, and what it has is kind of factioned off and made like different groups of people who like different kinds of music now and who follow certain artists, and those artists have been able to make a living. But a lot of those artists don't work with like major record labels anymore, right? Like that's the thing.
That's a positive to a certain degree. While I wish some of the best new bands that I've found were much, much bigger than they are, if a band has 5 or 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, they can go on tour with that because they have built if they're smart about it, they build an actual dedicated fan base who cares and will pay attention to what they're posting, right?
Right.
Build their brand on their own. They're not gonna.
Well, Insane Clown Posse was kind of the blueprint for that, right? Like, they came out at the time when it still was a corporate thing, and they couldn't get corporate attention. So instead, they did build this fan base of their own, and I hate giving them a lot of credit because I don't think they're that great. But I mean, that kind of was the blueprint for what a lot of these bands have to do now. Because unless you're a Taylor Swift, I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have that backing from a major label. And again, this goes in why Goddess of Whim was saying before, she's right here. This is why Weird Al's semi-retired, because he can't come up with a song or a parody anymore that enough people would recognize.
Yeah,
like I said,
that's true. He doesn't have that advantage to do that because when you do the parody, you want to know what you want to make sure people, at least enough people, understand the reference so that in case there's someone who doesn't, there'll be someone there like, oh, he's referencing that. Oh, okay. Now you don't have that. That's true, Tom. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, because I mean, how do you make a parody of a song? First of all, how do you make a parody of a song that less than a few million people have actually listened to? And then second of all, how do you satire a song that's already a bunch of samples of other songs itself already? It kind of gets redundant. I mean, there's so many things going against this, and this is why I understand where I just wish Weird Al would just do his own original music now, but once in a while he'll plop something out here and there, but he doesn't nearly do the output like he used to.
Maybe stuff like that, and you can maybe make this equivalent drawn to movies, shows. I don't know how you would do it, but at least with music, there won't be like big tours, but there'll be destinations to see these acts. It'll be a rarer setting, and there'll be that much more of a special show. It'll be a lot more event-like for those type of things. And
it's kind of what
there is something cool to that as well. When it's like, okay, well, if you want to say they don't do many shows, but these are gonna be the 2 spots where they do it. Like, let's just say one in Texas, the other in New York. I don't know. Once again, I'm just spitballing ideas here, but you get the gist of what I'm going for.
Kind of the thing,
rather than be a full-blown world tour where you go 30 cities across the country, then go to Canada, go to South America. I think it's definitely going to be a lot more condensed in that way.
Well, that's what usually you had to do, is get yourself to a point where you were big enough where you could get a residency in Vegas.
Yes.
Because then you would just set up in Vegas and people would come to see you. Right? Like that was kind of the whole idea of that, is once you got to that point in your career, you could be an Elton John, you could be a Tina Turner and go out there and just do, or Cher or whoever. Like none of these bands nowadays, other than maybe Taylor Swift, could pull something like that off. But we waited a little long on this. And I really get this in here.
Yeah,
Lightning Sketch Productions sent in $49.99 on the whole point of it. You know, this says, I'm scared to deet about the AI apocalypse because I think it means death. Scared to death about the AI apocalypse because the world is important to a person's dignity, and to replace people with a machine that never understands putting passion and feelings in art is wrong. Screw corporate greed. And I agree with you. This goes into a lot of things. As much as I understand and agree with where Andy's coming from, where, you know, there's a lot of other places besides arts and entertainment that are going to be in jeopardy because of AI, where we could actually see, you know, some improvement. People are going to be scared of it. And I think there's a reason why, and it probably should be. And I think one of the main reason is because you can't get emotional. You can't make those kind of emotional, you know, choices that a human can, for better or worse. So thank you so much for the support, my friend. That was very generous of you and helped out a lot more than you imagined. So thank you for that. And then we got ActionCom, who's always sending in. I think we got this one already, but you got sent in another one earlier. We got this one already. And then Deeple, this is where we left off before. Deeple sends in 5 and says, I just heard that Culture Casino is in the hospital. Really? Seems to be fine from what I've gathered. Oh shit. Well, glad to hear that. But I do wish for everyone to give him thoughts and prayers. This is the first I'm hearing about it, Deeple. I haven't heard anything in my circles. So, wow. Okay. Well, my buddy Culture, hopefully he's doing good. And if he hears this, yes, we are thinking of you, and you have our prayers that you get better and get out, my friend. You work too hard. That's part of the problem. Yeah. ActionCom says, see the Russian bot today and the comments. No, I didn't, but I seen you sent it to me. So let me bring this up here, what this is all about. Let's see here. Skip the commercial. Okay, so this is Russian's much hyped humanoid AI robot. So here we go. Share the screen here. Let's see what I think he's a little drunk. Oh, he had a few. Oops. Robbie had a few drinks. He got into that Russian vodka. I love how they cut out the audio there. This is giving me RoboCop 2 flashbacks. Have we done RoboCop 2 on Toxic Tuesday?
We have not, but we need to. We still haven't done that. We still have there's a whole bunch of Chuck Norris movies we have yet to do that I still want to do. We haven't done Mel Gibson's Fat Man. We haven't done Lethal Weapon 3 and 4. We haven't even done Predator 2 yet. So that goes to show you we still have a long ways to go.
RoboCop 2 is amazing.
I agree. And we're going to do it.
I think that was an Irish robot there.
Talk about the movie, of course.
Dare to step outside. I love it when he says that to RoboCop 2. And I love that the movie's called RoboCop 2 and they actually have a RoboCop 2.
You know, I realize
in the movie.
We still haven't even done the Enforcer yet, the third Dirty Harry as well. That's like the perfect time right now in this world.
What the fuck?
Doing it. Yeah. Holy shit.
That's
that's good, though. This is good. All I'm just saying is that even with almost 200 episodes, we still have plenty of ground to cover. This is excellent.
So yeah, so here's also the Laurence Olivier speech that ActionCom also sent us. So I'll play that real quick here. I didn't see that before. Sorry about that. Well, that was very impassioned, and I think we'll pause it there because it's quite long. And the Oscars like to, they don't like to allow too much, so we'll see. But this is one of my favorite Oscar speeches. I think we'll leave on.
Directors, there are spectator directors.
With the sound man. Unfortunately, they
not this one, but this is pretty good.
Sometimes run out of tape before I finish my line.
And this is the one here.
There are all kinds of directors. There are spectator directors, dictator directors, directors that are kind and tolerant. They're understanding. there are also directors that are mean and petty and contemptible.
Some directors are short, and some are tall. Some are old and some are young. There are American directors, French, Czechoslovakian, and English directors, etc. There are directors who know everything about human behavior and nothing about the camera. There are directors who know camera angles, camera lenses, camera sprockets, and depth of focus, but who are totally ignorant of the human condition.
We have all of these directors with us tonight.
That was good. That's one of my favorite Oscar moments right there. But all right, kids, I think that's a good place to wrap this out. I want to thank a special thanks to Lightning Sketch again for the very generous super chat. Appreciate that. And I want to thank the boys for showing up here. Andy, what you got going on? Anything you like to plug?
Yeah, nothing. Just working my butt off on different things. And well, you saw Brian there, and then I have a few other people. I'm still working on Wicked Virtues. I got to finish her sculpture and get that off and make weapons for her little pirate figure.
Cute. CC, what you got going on?
I think I'm going to make a sandwich and keep working on my channel.
Sounds good. Sandwich sounds good right about now. Neek.
Yeah.
Hey. So, of course, Toxic Tuesday back on YouTube in a little over an hour and 20 to be particular. We were talking James Bond's The World Is Not Enough, which definitely has a much better opening song than the Madonna one from Die Another Day. So please come hang out with us as we talk some great 007 and why this is one of the most toxic Bond movies, also one of the most homoerotic ones as well.
All right, we'll check that out, folks, and that is tonight. Give me the link so I can link that to this.
I will link you
since you're back on YouTube's.
Yeah, let me stick it in the privates. All right,
stick it in there, baby.
Oh, asking you shall receive. I put it in there.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
in.
Baby.
Hear the Barry White music.
Can't get enough of your link, babe. Nigga, I don't know why. Can't get enough of your link, baby.
Rotankin, I gotta address this guy. Rotankin, Garbage performed the song for The World Is Not Enough. Madonna did the song for Die Another Day. The song from Garbage is. Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't call myself a fan of Garbage, but I do like that song that they performed because obviously they didn't write it. But it's well played. It's definitely a much better song than what was on Die Another Day. That was, ooh boy. Oh, okay, okay. I thought there was like confusion.
Which is the one Tina Turner did?
Wasn't that Tomorrow Never Dies?
I think so. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I should, but I don't.
I should too. Shame on me.
But anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Check out Toxic Tuesday tonight. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you.
Thank you guys for correcting me. I appreciate that.
Golden eye. Okay.
Ah.
She wants a golden eye.
Oh.
Is that another word for a butthole?
That would be the Wink and Pink brownie cake.
Oh my. ActionCom says for 5. Thanks again, buddy. That robot was left over from Russia's plan to replace American President Joe Biden with a robot. They were 4 years too late. Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the cheer button. That was an accident. But since we're cheering, thank you and good night.
Kitty.
Available now for the first time ever on DVD from Midnight's Edge After Dark Productions. It's My Two Dads, the complete first season starring Mexican Iron Man Tom Connors and Culture Casino. Available now for $19.99 while supplies last.